This is Friday, and this is really funny. I'm still no makeup. It's no makeup for me today, and we're filming a bunch, but we just had the best conversation ever in life. Okay, we're going to do Friday Stripper Chronicles. Are you ready? Okay. Basically, here's the thing, y'all.
You press record on this, right?
Yeah, way back when, during a dinner in New York with Lindsay, we decided
and some tequila.
We were going to do a live show. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we've been asked to do this live show, and we just wanted to get down all of our wildest dreams that we could put down. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget, I said, we need male dancers. And Lindsay was like, no. And I was like, why not? And she's like, that you can't. This was 7 years ago, right before 2017, 2016 or 2017. 19, even longer. Hold on. 16 to 17, 17, 18, 19, 19, 20, 21. Okay. At least 7 years ago.
I can't believe that.
And
obviously I was like, this is the best thing I've ever heard. Let's get them immediately.
So we go to Instagram to ask questions. It was stories were a thing. So we ask Instagram, would it be too offensive if we had strippers? Some people were like, that is too far. And others were like, that would be so much fun. So which feels so ridiculous because now they're on mainstream TV. Like when you really think about it, it is so ridiculous that we were so scared to like rock the boat. Okay. Even though our content was really rocking the boat.
I don't remember being hesitant.
I just remember people being, no, we were like, we're doing this. And Lindsay was like, oh.
And we're like, and guess what, Lindsay? You're get to be the one. You're going to go find them and you're going to book them. And that's going to be a thing. And we did. And ever since we've had...
Wait, no, so you think it's really easy to find them, okay? You think it's really easy.
Because in my mind, I feel like men who... We know men like to be on stage. They like attention. If they have like work on their bodies, they want to show them. And there's a lot of guys who are
even if they don't, they like to show them.
Yeah. But I'm like, specifically, you'd think that there'd be a large group of men. Maybe they like their personal trainers.
There was, by the way. There was lots in America.
Yeah, there was. And you think that they would be easy, that there would be a lot of guys that would be a great side gig.
A great side gig. So we do a Toronto show, like the first one. They are so PG. They're basically like break dancers, okay? And we're embarrassed. We're so embarrassed by them because we're like, oh my God. They were like embarrassing. He was so intense. He was so serious. We were like, oh my God, so embarrassed. Okay, so that's that. Then we go on our way to San Antonio. If you guys have not heard this story yet, we're in the air. Sam's with us barfing because she's pregnant, didn't tell anyone, and has major sickness. Lindsay and her like running the whole show. Lindsay is petrified of flying, and it's like like such bad turbulence, and it's a small plane, and she's like crying, okay? And Nat and I are like, I think drinking at this point on the plane. Okay, so. You're drinking, and I'm like, I get Wi-Fi. I always get Wi-Fi on the plane because I can't tell you how many times something has come in while we're on the plane that like literally, do you want to go to New York this weekend? Like things like that. And we're like, yep. So we get an email while we're in the plane mid-flight to our first show.
All the strippers have a virus.
Have a virus. They're not coming.
Pardon?
They all have the flu. And we're like this.
Nobody all has the flu, fuckers.
I'm like, what? So we're in the air and we're like, they've canceled. So as we do,
we reach out to the guy that we've hired as a DJ and say, do you happen to know any strippers?
He's like, sure do.
I got some on hand. I'm like, wow, this guy's resourceful.
So 3 show up or 4. We used to go like with a huge pack. Like, I mean, 4 was not even enough back then. I think 4 or 5 came up with, fine, we'll be satisfied with 4 or 5. Fine. We'll settle for 4 or 5. So they show up. Well, let me tell you.
Gosh. Oh, man. You guys don't even know. When we saw them, we're about to do basically our first, like our first live show and we're nervous and we see them. And
because in our head, we've envisioned like
Thunder
what
Down
you
Under.
see on TV, like basically cowboys.
Big, strong, manly.
Like fantasies.
Yes.
like real men. Not that everyone's a real man. That was wrong. But like big.
Yeah.
Like Thor.
Like Thor. Like the testosterone is just seeping out of their blood.
Well,
oh no, that's not what we got. No, there was not. No, they were very small
and like wide leg jeans that were not cool at the time. And
we look at each other and we're like,
oh my God, again.
What are we going to do?
Oh my God.
Got to go with it. We have advertised that this is a part of our show. It's fun.
It's actually, no, it was a surprise. They were all surprises, but we never advertised because we didn't want people not to come because they thought there would be strippers there. So we just didn't tell them. And they were going to be like a surprise. And they come out.
Weren't they a surprise?
And someone's like, I went to high school with that guy. And we're like, oh my God. So they also were small and young and nothing wrong with a lazy eye, but a few lazy eyes. And it was...
you know what? They danced and it was funny.
And we laughed.
And we laughed.
And we were cringing, but it was fine because when you can never feel bad for a stripper. Like you can never feel bad. Like, I mean, like embarrassed.
Oh God, but I have so many times felt so embarrassed.
When you feel embarrassed, they feel embarrassed. Okay.
Yeah,
so
everyone.
You're like, oh, we pushed through. We do the show. It was really fun.
But then when we know we're going to Boston, there's going to be no fucking around for this one because this is a bigger theater.
Yeah.
And we want a group of men. Wow. Well, I don't know if there was fucking 8 of them.
So I felt like there was 12.
In sailor suits?
Navy.
Right.
Right. Navy's the white one.
I don't know.
I feel like they were like in the Navy.
Yeah.
Like, so we're standing there and they all start coming down the stairs. Okay. And there's like 1, 2, and they're
huge.
Massive.
Huge.
1, 2,
they
3,
smell
4,
like
5,
a stripper.
6. They just kept walking down in their costumes. And we're like this.
Big bodies.
What the hell is going on?
I'm like, oh my God.
We have no footage of that. Isn't that the saddest thing you've ever heard?
Really?
Oh, does Sean have footage of that? He was with us. Was he not with us?
I don't
We're walking
think so.
to the airport. Haley was with us.
One time time he came with us, though. He slept on the bus for one night. Do you remember that?
He came with us to...
He slept on a bus with us.
Okay, we have to ask him. I think he has footage. We need that footage. We need that original footage. We have OG.
Well, he must have delivered it to us.
He made a sizzle reel. And I'm walking. We look at the airport. We go from New York to Jersey.
Yeah.
And they all come with us. I gotta find that.
No kidding.
So I want to see their dance. I want to see what they did.
I remember it.
You do?
I've definitely seen video of it because I can see it.
Short, but we need the long version.
They were like, attention. Yeah. And then we played a game with them where we had to put on their shirt or take off their shirt blindfolded.
Put their clothes on, so find their arms. That's really fun.
I wonder how I did that too. And I wonder who you did it to. And was it us? Or did we have contestants?
Should we bring that game back?
Yeah. Anyways, they were amazing.
That is wild that we had to dress or undress a stripper. Do you remember? Or was it contestants and we talked them through a little higher, a little lower?
That's delicious. I like it. How did we come up with that? Anyways, they were so professional. They were so good. They were so big on stage. And then basically we kept a version of them, but down to a smaller number. How many did we have? They all fit in a car. So there's 4?
4. And
they flew around we were on a tour bus and they drove a car. And they would have to.
Well, so that huge crew followed us for a little bit. And when I say there was so many of them, and it's like we had to cut because there was too many of them. Like there was so many that we were like, wow. And they were all massive except for one, but he was amazing.
Oh yeah.
And his name
doctor?
Amazing.
Oh, amazing.
The flipper.
Oh God. He is a porn star now.
So we begin to get like a kind of a crew, and you know who's always in the crew? Romeo, who's still with us today. So Romeo's like the responsible one. And he's like the one who communicates with everybody. And he's the one who is talking with us. And he's like the face of the strippers.
And by the way, another thing that these guys would do is when they were done their show, some of them
Like our show.
Yeah, when we were done our show, they would go and they could make like a date with someone and basically go have an evening with a woman, and they would have those.
They would get paid to be companions.
Yeah.
I don't remember who did that.
I remember, but I can't see it. Oh, Amazing did it. And we're like, wait. What are you doing? Meeting this woman at a hotel room. And then I remember even after one time he went and did that, then he came and met us at a restaurant after.
So we had a really great access. They'd fly all over North America with us. They would drive and it'd be like right before showtime. And Natalie's like, they're here. She could smell them. You could smell them. I don't know what they wore, but basically they all wore this one cologne. And they would walk in with their stripper cologne. And they must have spent so much money on cologne because they would have had to go through so much of it.
They also, and even Romeo to this day, they bring like a wardrobe of cologne. They're only gone for like a few days, but they couldn't possibly wear the same exact thing for different like parts of the day. Like, I think they're like they have like 3 bottles.
The best is,
and they spent money on their perfume.
The dancers we had in the last leg,
yes,
had like multiple costumes. Like their suitcase was so big, they came so prepared,
and they had real fireman costumes, like the heavy ones.
So we begin to get down to like a science of like what we want. Okay. So really it's a night of having fun. It's a night of permission. It's a night of like, kind of like, so much what I've learned about females, women watching males dance is it is joyous. Like it's laughing. It's fun. They feel naughty. And it's like, they are so much less aggressive around. I mean, now listen, we have heard what happens at some of these shows that they take their pants off in the audience.
But it's so crazy because if you've ever been to a strip club, a male strip club, and I've been maybe 3 times, like some bachelorette party, the way that women behave towards male dancers
is so inappropriate.
No, is we laugh.
That's what I mean.
We laugh because we're embarrassed. It's funny. And then you go to a strip club with girls, which I've also been to. All the guys are so serious, like looking at the girls. Girls laugh, boys gross.
Serious.
So, I mean, to get anybody to laugh in their life, when as a woman and as a mother, your life is so overwhelming. To any reason to laugh, we're going to bring as many opportunities to laugh as we can. And if strippers is one of those things, well, you're right, we are.
Well, also, it was just like this thing where it was permission to not be so in a box. Like I feel like our show is so much about like walking into a world that is something you talk about, think about, or laughed about when you were younger. Like it was like I used to, and so much of motherhood is like we talk about, oh my gosh, do you remember when? And we're so sick of remember when. Like let's start now. Like let's do this like today. And so the dancers have been such a conundrum in our lives of trying to find them,
make sure they can get into the country with their papers. Then someone gets remember when you say a DWI? Yeah. A DWI. Yeah, they can't fly if they have a DWI. Like DWIs just like come all the time. Like as if everyone's got one. I'm like, did you say DWI? Like that means drunk driving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like that's not average.
That shouldn't be common. And showing up at cities, strippers canceling, booking them coming, deciding last minute that they can't do this.
Oh my God, you guys, this one time.
That guy must have been on drugs or crazy.
So we're waiting for them. I feel like it was in London. It was somewhere in Ontario. Last minute again, someone cancels. We find them. So 2 guys who don't know each other finally show up. They're so late, okay? They show up and
how do we explain this?
The one guy's like this. Okay. He's like, I'm the show. Like, I need a mic.
I need to talk through this.
And he is no stage presence. Like he would be like, if we gave him the mic, he's like, I'm going to talk them through the
striptease. And I need a girl and I need to dance on her. I can't dance if I don't have someone to dance on.
I'm like, no, you're not getting the mic. And he's like, I need the mic. And then he looks at our teammate and he's like, not you, but you. Like basically
to be the one on stage with them.
And we're like, what? So we get backstage. He's ready to go. He's like, I need the mic. I'm like, you're not getting the mic. I'm not giving you. Have to go and like dance. Like you have to go. We're gonna put a song on. You're gonna dance. He's like, I don't do that. And I'm like, you're here. We called. This is what you're here for. He's like, nah, I'm leaving. He's about to go on. It's the second half. We're lined up at the door to go out.
He's like, nah, not going.
This other guy's like,
fuck, I'll do it.
And he, by himself, he's like just out. He was so late though. The second one was so late. Like he basically came when we were on stage, and I run back. He's like, well, I'll do it. We're like, fine. I go back out. I'm like, the amount of drama they have brought to our lives.
Do you remember the stripper that we brought to our London, England shows? And he was like, he was a really good dancer.
I do.
Oh my God. Then we converted Romeo's best friend to become a stripper because we saw him on Instagram. We're like, he's handsome, teach him how to dance. And he came on the road for a bit. Then we were backstage once and he had his friend with him. We're like, do you want to dance? And they're like, no, he doesn't dance. And he's like, I'll do it.
Literally.
Okay.
We're like, what?
At a casino. Okay, I'll dance too.
So we're like, it is like such a different world than any of us are used to.
Mm-hmm.
Like that maybe y'all are used to it, but it is.
So for our upcoming shows, we needed a dancer, and it feels like nothing's happening. They can also be very unreliable. It's not their only job. And
the people who run them
are shady.
You'll click on a website and it will go to the same person, and then it'll be another company, same person, and it's like one person that pretends to be all the people. So they're like, I have a troupe. It's him dressed up in 7 outfits. Mm-hmm. It's like he's not going to tell you that he's 7 personalities, and you're like, no, I'm not looking for.
And I feel like he has all the different companies, because if something goes sideways with one of them, he can just say like, go to the other website. It's really crazy, but we needed to book them for this weekend, and we were like, fuck. I mean, Kat last night was like, here's some links, whatever, let's get on a call. They give us the name of the person. And I'm so nervous because obviously I really like having dancers, but I don't never negotiate with a stripper. And so the boss is calling us.
I'm like, I'm not doing this, Natalie. Like, I'm not doing this. You can do this. I'm not doing this. I don't do this. I don't do this. I found the companies. I send it to you. It's on you now. I'm like, nope, not me. Not me. So she's like,
I'm like sweating because I just know like the big stripper boss is just going to be, I said he's going to have some thick accent. He's going to have a deep voice.
Why did you think that?
Because of the spelling of his name.
Okay.
So I thought, when you said, what's he going to be like? I said, he's going to have an accent. And
not that matters, by the way.
No, but that's what I thought he was going to sound like. Because at the time wasn't sure that this person wasn't connected to our other guys. They had such thick accents. So I'm like, okay.
Wait, the other guy's being the guy who blackmailed us?
No, the ones from last week. That's why I got confused when I'm like, wait, is this their boss, their partner? That's who I actually thought I was going to be talking to.
And why you get so nervous is because the industry is so small, and they actually really do compete for territory, and they actually are not friendly, all of them. And there's one notorious one that has a lot of not people that like him, and he owns a lot of the territory, and we had a falling out. Anywho, so we're always nervous, and they all have the same name. All of them have the same name, literally. So you're like, is it that one or that one? Like, you want?
It's confusing
and it's scary.
Yeah. So I'm really nervous to talk to the boss, which I'm thinking is the partner of the guy from last weekend. And the phone rings.
Go ahead.
They're like, "Hi," and we text. Hi, you want to call us? Can I? Yeah. No call. I'm like, do you want me to call you? Okay. Ring. A woman picks up the phone.
She's been so prompt the entire time. I even said, I'm like, this is so crazy. She's so prompt. Like, I was thinking he was so prompt. He was so on top of it. Like, I'm like, he is so like professional. Of course, it's a woman.
It's a woman. And because the spelling of her name, you have no idea. And I'm like immediately so relieved I'm talking to a woman. And she said, I took over the business 3 years ago because I really thought that these people need a woman boss.
And they predominantly do women. So she says, I do all the women and the men. And I'm like, I love that a woman does a woman, because we have never met a woman boss yet.
And she knows the industry. Exactly. And she knows the industry really well because she too used to strip, but now she's the boss. Oh my gosh, it's just a good situation. She was great. She was normal. She's funny.
And we are going to be doing Stamford, Albany, and York, and Toronto, which Nat is going to have to really lock and load. That is your job.
I know. I mean, I am trying, and
for December.
Yeah.
You think you're getting closer?
Well, I mean, I've asked for it,
but now we just have to do it ourselves. Do you think you have the troop in mind yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have the troop in mind.
Is it the ones we had last weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're good with that one.
Yeah, I'm very good with that one.
You want to know what last weekend was? We had no idea what we were going to get again. They show up with a massive suitcase. Okay, they come in very late, which is fine. They were supposed to be there early to rehearse. They didn't. They eventually rehearsed. They got there like before the doors opened. So
and they
it
were
was
very
fine.
serious rehearsers.
Very serious.
Sounded like tennis with the squeaking of the feet.
So he brings this big, and they're practicing, and they were going to do this one. And I was like, this is not, you can't do this one. Like, it's not, no, we can't do this one. I'm really sorry. It's one we can't do. And I'm like, you have to change the song, and you have to change I'll tell you why. It was about, they were cops, and it was like, it's this whole thing. It's like active shooter, like the whole thing is I'm acting it out again. And I'm like, unfortunately, there was a mass shooting in the USA. I'm like, I'm sorry.
There was actually an active shooter missing at the time.
Yeah, I'm like, we're not doing this. I'm like, you have to cut. This is like a trigger for lots of people. So no, but you're going to be a firefighter. So he's like, okay.
They switched it immediately. They had another costume and
a video.
They have video. And I was blown away by the entertainment value.
So I went downstairs, and Natalie watches it in the audience. So I go downstairs to I don't know what I did. I laughed. Oh, I couldn't watch it. I get too embarrassed to sit by myself and watch it. So I leave, and Natalie's by herself, and she's like, Catherine, do you know what just happened? Okay. Not only did I not know what happened, I had no idea what to expect. So the show starts. It is
full on
chaos.
There are only 2 of them. It feels like there's 17 people on stage.
So I look over at one point, and he's like, he gets a person on stage, and he's like, she pretends her vagina needs CPR. So he starts pumping her vagina
so fast.
1, 2, 3. And I'm like, what the my face is like, what the hell? Then he takes her legs and starts
whipping them around.
But I'm like, what's he doing for that? Like, is he trying to wake them up too? But
he's like putting out the fire.
Oh, with her legs. Okay. So he's woken, and then he's like,
when I watched them practice this,
it wasn't like
one guy. Yes, it is. But one guy was doing it to the other guy. And I didn't know, because they were practicing so hard. I didn't realize that was supposed to be a girl under there. I thought they were doing that to each other.
So I'm like,
and it was like comedy.
There's a video behind. The music is like, whoa, whoa. You are just, it is so outrageous. And I'm like this, watching, I'm like, what the hell? I mean, it is really funny. And
yeah,
like, it is actually funny. And like,
and their bodies are, their bodies were gorgeous.
If you could
gorgeous bodies.
If you could see me watching him revive her vagina like it's her heart, like CPR, like her and then he like listens to it to see if it's come back to life.
I said
come back to life again.
You have to make sure that the women that participate in this have to be wearing pants.
I was just like this. Is this a sketch, or are we like, what are we?
And now this fucking guy isn't texting me back.
And then he runs into the audience. They're running all over the thing, and I'm like, I cannot keep track of what's going on right now.
And he's like 6'6".
Then the first night, boxer briefs. The second night, the one guy decides to bust out a white, tiny banana hammock.
So happy,
like a sling.
Yeah, it was a sling for his dong. And I don't know what was in there, but it looked really big, but it looked really wide. Did you notice?
I did not. You were on that side. I look over. Natalie's almost falling off the stage, trying to look around at it. And I got a picture of her trying to get
a video
of it. Yeah, of you trying to look at it. I mean,
I'm like, if you're going to take your pants off, I want to take a peek.
I'm standing in shock.
I saw his hands.
That his hammock is like
white, crisp white.
I'm like, you can't even take a tinkle without having a little thing there.
I think he's totally in control of his thing. But he was showing me something on his phone before the dance.
Oh, and what was he showing you?
I think he was showing us one of their shows or something. We were all backstage, And his hand on the iPhone made the iPhone look like a Tic Tac box.
You are hilarious.
His hands were like, and then they were like a baseball glove. And I was like, if I'm going to see those hands are those hands, I need to take a peeky what's around front.
And then Natalie's like, he was flirting with me. And Noah's like, he was flirting with me. And then Noah's like, literally, he was flirting with me.
Noah's like, he winked at me.
And Natalie's like, he winked at me. Yeah. I'm like, y'all. Yeah. I mean, it was honest to God. Mm-hmm. It happened again the next night. And I still was not over the shock of what was going on because it was just such a fast-paced, chaotic, hilarious, fun event that I don't know if I can ever go back to something slow. Another time, one more story. Did we tell the one where Romeo is in the stands on a thing on a banister? I look up and the lights come on and Romeo's standing in a outfit like on a banister holding up like this. And I'm like, what the hell is going? But that was really fun. That was a fun one.
That was fun. One time Romeo jumped off the stage and like basically broke his knee. Amazing. He used to do flips. He pulled his groin.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, well, we're gonna have to send you home.
Like he's like, I'll carry on.
I
just want to. He used to do flips like flip with his wanker out.
10 got an ingrown hair under his armpit
and a cyst.
Yeah.
Romeo got a sty.
Oh, Romeo got a Some of our strippers actually slept with some of the moms. I don't know if the moms were married or not, but
we now say you can like we make them all sign waivers now, all the dancers, and we're like, do not sleep with the mom. Yeah.
And you know what's so exciting is that the journey's not over. You know?
Well, can't wait to see you next week. Y'all gonna have to come over to Insta Stories and check it out. Okay, y'all. We'll see you next week. Oh my God. Make sure you subscribe, text us your favorite strip dance that you've ever had on our show. Because we know some of you have been to multiple.